if you're in a situationship, if you find yourself pregnant, call an auntie. And welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be sharing a get ready with me chit chat, but it's actually just mainly focused on how I cover my dark circles and hyperpigmentation, as well as a few dark spots, and how I try and blend my makeup into my neck to make it look a little bit more natural and flawless. So I use 3 key products in trying to achieve this, and I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown before I jump into story time. They're super affordable products and you will see them as I'm using them, but I just thought I'd actually sort of show what they are. So it is Maybelline's Dream Urban Cover Full Foundation, Full Coverage Foundation, and this is in 356 Warm Coconut. And then I've also got the L'Oreal True Match Foundation in Deep Golden, and the Faithful Concealer is the E.L.F 16 Hour Camouflage Concealer in Rich Chocolate. And this is basically how I pretty much go from a sort of drab, tired look to kind of something that's a little bit more flawless, glowy. And if you're interested in finding out how I use them, then keep on watching. Thanks guys, take care. And we're going to chat about how to tell your parents you are pregnant. African parents, if you're Zimbabwean, Southern African, then these are kind of the steps that we learn along the way and figured out when we were going through that process. A lot of our culture is, you know, if something happens, you don't just go and talk to your parents like at face value. So let's say like English culture, like you could literally go and just say to your mum, oh yeah mum, I'm pregnant. Whereas with our culture, it's actually not that simple. You don't kind of have those difficult conversations at face value. But basically, we'd been seeing each other for a little while, and we grew up together and we were friends and went to the same church. But obviously when this situation came about, and when I told him, he was one of the first people I told. He was pretty much the first person I told. I rang him and he was making his way back home from uni and that's pretty major news. So but he was great, and he was like, right, I'm gonna drive and I'm gonna come meet you. And then we met up and went to have a chat, and I think it was an emotional chat. It was hard because he was being super supportive, but he's like a silent type, so he can say like one thing and he is saying whatever he's saying and agreeing, but he doesn't like keep reiterating stuff, if you get what I mean. So I can like say you're going to be okay and say you're going to be okay in 5 million different ways. He'll say you're going to be okay and then he's silent. So yeah, we had that chat, and in that we agreed that we would wait and not have the direct chat with parents, but we would actually tell our siblings, who could then advise about, you know, the best auntie or uncle to call. So a lot of the time as a female, you kind of seek guidance and advice from your auntie on your father's side, and then as a male you seek guidance from your uncle on your dad's side. So we both did that. His uncle was a little bit more local than mine. My auntie was based, well not was, is based in the Midlands, and we kind of told them. There was a little bit of shock naturally, but they were super supportive, and we gave them, or they kind of gave us, their availability, and it was about a week and a half, so they were able to come out middle of the week as soon as they knew. And to be honest, I think our siblings were shell shocked as well. They didn't really know what to do or how to handle it. So I feel like having the support of aunties and uncles that know how to communicate with your parents is super helpful. I never used to always blend my foundation down to my neck, but I feel like it's really important, especially when I'm looking at pictures. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing now. So yeah, then aunties and uncles were really supportive and they were able to make visits, but what we had to line up was also their contacts. So his uncle and my auntie needed to talk, so they had the same story and the same understanding of what was going on / what we wanted the outcome to be. so that when they're communicating with the parent, you know, it's clear. 2 seconds. Don't cry, you want to go for Willie? Okay. You're going to go with Daddy? Okay, you're going to relax on the bed? Mum life. So we've got a little assistant with us. So yeah, where was I? So we swapped their contact details over, and they were able to talk and make sure that their availability lined up for the same day, so that on the day that his parents knew, my parents found out too, because obviously there were other things that needed to be done on that day. So said day comes, and we were both trying to be normal. So at the time I was working up in London in the city, and he was still at uni, and his uncle came over to his house sort of late afternoon, and then my auntie made it to my house early evening. So his parents found out first. Bearing in mind our parents are friends, and they're the reason we know each other, because they knew each other before. So like in our culture, they couldn't just pick up the phone and say, oh my god, especially our mums, they interact quite a lot. So then it got to about 6 o'clock on that day. My aunties turned up, bearing in mind from the Midlands, it's not normal on a weekday, and I feel like my mum's got used to that. If my auntie's turning up, there's gonna be like bad news. So it's either it's a celebration, someone's getting engaged, married, or having a baby, or bad news like someone's passed on. So initially she was just like already a bit standoffish. She was like, okay, why is she here midweek, what's going on? And my mum works from home, so in order to try not to have that conversation, she kept typing away. I use a flat top brush, and I just feel like that gets the foundation really nicely into my skin. And then when it comes to my eye area, I just press in whatever's left over from what was going on all over the face. And you know, with this you can see that it's already doing a nice colour match. It's covered really nicely, but you don't have to go in too much to actually cover the area, if you get what I mean, because you're still going to have concealer. So what you're trying to do is just create one canvas, one colour, and take your time with buffing. You can do the ears a little bit, and then when it comes to neck, I like to do like a little bit of a circular motion. So yeah, as I'm saying, we finally managed to get my mum to sit down and, you know, have a chat with my auntie. So she's then told the news, and my dad's told the news, and they were both naturally really shocked. But first reaction was that I needed to get dressed like appropriately, so like a cultural outfit or something, and actually go to be presented to his family, to check that they're also agreeing with the fact that, you know, I'm known to their home, or I've been in a relationship with their son, right? I think within about half an hour, 45 minutes of my parents finding out, we were getting ready to go do that. So I was being taken by my auntie and my uncle, and to be honest, when you think about it at first, you just feel so embarrassed, but culturally it's because like you don't need to speak, the aunties and uncles speak through you, they're your representatives. When all the initial discussions had started and my auntie and his uncle had built that relationship, they then became the ones that negotiated the next stage. So we've also got dowry that takes place in Zimbabwe, and actually in Ndebele they call it ubulobola. But before I even knew that he was thinking about marrying me, proposing, or any of that, a lot of the time in our culture, if someone's pregnant out of wedlock, or you've been in an intimate relationship and you're pregnant, the boy pays damages to your family. And I hate explaining this sometimes because I'm like, oh, you know, that whole you damaged her, women vulnerable. No, it's that you know, you'd be hoping that your child would be virtuous, like your daughter when they get married. So when they have been in an intimate relationship before, that person's taken away that virtue, or what would have been that virtue if she'd got married, being a virgin. So what he then needed to do, after I've come to his house to say I'm having his baby and him agreeing that yep, I know this girl, she's not crazy, he needed to come to my house. This is the 16-hour Camo concealer. I've got it in rich chocolate. This is where I just disguise all hyperpigmentation. So I start with kind of like the classic areas, you know what they are, the classic areas. So my under eye, my mouth. Not too intense. And then in terms of my lid, again, you can see that there's a bit of a difference, but we're not trying to make that exactly the same as everything else. So I go in to where I've got my creases, okay, and I just dab a bit more and dab a bit more there, because for me those are my key problem areas. Okay, and I'm gonna look up as I try and dab that in to my lines. Come on. And then pull away. Okay, and do the same on the other side. And then whatever's left, I like to just pop it across. Just really, really lightly. And just press it onto the lid. Anyway, back to the story. So now, the whole situation is that, you know, they turn up at the house, everything happens. The conversations are between his uncles and my aunties. And to be honest, I wasn't really present in the room. It's only when I was called in with cousins so he could choose which flower he'd seen in the home. And then I had a lovely surprise, because I was expecting that he's just here to accept that, you know, we've been seeing each other and we're having he was there to propose and to do the full lobola, which you can imagine, like, my mind was blown. I really wasn't expecting it at the time. My partner was like I said, a full-time student. I was working in London, and it really wasn't on the cards for us to kind of do that, so I wasn't really expecting it, and he just really surprised me. But I'm so glad, because I feel like having family members that mediate for you, so having an auntie who's representing you, uncles, they speak on your behalf, but also during that time they give you like sound counselling, and they really try and divulge what your relationship is, where you're at, and, you know, find a way that they can help you and make it less awkward for you when you're having those conversations with your parents. I mean, obviously after, you know, your parents will start to ask you, but in our culture it's not like you can just be like, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, so I just wanted to say, for any young Southern Africans, but specifically Zimbabweans, Ndeveles, if you're in a situationship, if you find yourself pregnant, call an auntie. Don't just go do mom, dad, this is that. That's really not how we view things traditionally, and our culture is evolving, things are changing, but